Hi, this is my review of Lone Hero. This is a supplement for Heroes and Hardships. It will allow you to play Heroes and Hardships as a solo RPG. Now let's talk about the quality of the PDF. The quality is great, except when you take a look at the icons here, the image prompts, they are a bit blurry, but that's my only criticism. Everything is well written, organized, and explained. The illustrations are appropriate for the sort of ambience that Heroes and Hardships promotes. The graphic design is simple and colorful. So my only criticism is that blurriness. Everything else is great. And because the document is fully bookmarked and hyperlinked, it's also going to be very easy for you to navigate the entire PDF. And it's only 33 pages long anyway. Now let's talk about the contents. This supplement was written by, let me see the name, yes, Peter Rudin Burgess, I think that's how you pronounce it. I have seen some of Peter's work. It's pretty much hit or miss when it comes to solo material. That is, there are some good solo supplements for specific games, but a lot of them feel a bit like reskins. He takes the core method that he employs, that is quite standard, and he applies it to different mechanics depending on the game. But in a lot of cases, it's basically the same thing, just instead of rolling a d6, now you roll a d10, instead of rolling a d20, you roll this, so in that sort of way. Now, going deeper into the content, it's quite a shame, but Peter is not a role player. And how do I know this? Well, listen to this. Anything you would ask your game master, you put to the oracle instead. I repeat, anything you would ask your game master, you put to the oracle instead. Okay, for those of you that have never played a tabletop role-playing game before, please check out a few links in the description. First, my actual play, then how to role-play in solo games, then the role-playing acting confusion, and then how to obtain information through roleplay. You don't need to ask the game master any question because the game master does not exist in the game world. There is no need for you to step out of character like that. So yes, it's a bit of a shame. So a lot of the tips, tricks, advice here, it applies to solo gaming, but when it comes to solo roleplay, please check out the link in the description that will tell you how to actually implement roleplay in a solo role-playing game, because it's in the name, solo role-playing game. You have information on improvisation techniques, the oracle answers, that is, you make a roll, and it could be no and, or no because, yes but, yes and such. So it's a pretty basic oracle, but using the system for Heroes and Hardships, taking the target number into consideration. Now, after that, you have plenty of examples, tips on how to paint the scene, unnecessary assertions. So like I said, on the game side of things, not the role-playing, on the game side, it is useful for solo gaming. There are also tips for improvisation, context, how to use word prompts, how to use image prompts. I think that's one of the strongest points of this supplement. You have this repertoire of words and images to come up with context, different situations, all sorts of effects and interactions during the dynamic generation process in a solo RPG. But definitely there is an absence of roleplay. You also have details on how to handle scenes with details, the drama roll, which is in essence what you roll to see if something happens. There's also information on how to use clocks, which is basically like a countdown diagram for different tests and situations. There are also tips on how to handle a fake AI, that is, using the oracles, or perhaps even the words and images, you could also do it like that, to represent or indicate what the non-player characters are going to do during combat or outside of combat. There's also a breakdown of different stages or phases of an adventure, with a reactive phase, an active phase, the conclusion. There's also information on how to use prompts in adventures, of course. And when it comes to advice, it's pretty basic. Be prepared, If a combat is turning to be disappointing, try dialing up the damage dealt by the creature or whatever, how to introduce non-player characters, how to handle talks with non-player characters, keeping things simple, connecting the dots. Then you have a roleplay versus skill subsection. Peter thinks that roleplay is acting. You know what? Before any other video, please check out my video of the role-playing acting confusion in the description. So overall, what do I think of Lone Hero? It is good in some aspects and very disappointing in others. When it comes to the advice, tips and such, mechanically speaking, strictly following a game structure without the roleplay, it's decent advice. But the absence on information concerning solo roleplay, yes, it's a bit disappointing, a bit lacking. I think that this document is great if you don't have any other oracles or any other Game Master emulators and such. But it's also important to consider that this short document contains a good variety of words and images to employ in any scene. So if you wanted some references, some inspiration, some random elements, this document has you covered. So I recommend this to someone who has no other oracles or Game Master emulators and such. Or maybe if you want like a more condensed or portable document, it's quite easy to print this. And strictly for Heroes and Hardships in my opinion. But for everyone else, especially if you are looking for solo role-playing tips, this document will feel a bit lacking. Thank you for watching my review and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.